Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Ash and this is my first Q&A on this channel. In this Q&A I'll be talking about some of the stuff that I've been getting questions about for you to get to know me a bit better, and then in general just for you to get some of your questions, as it depends on if these are the questions that you've been asking or been thinking about, or if they haven't been. If there's something you would like to ask about, you are more than welcome to put it in the comments, and then I'll make a second Q&A. I'll be reading some of the questions and cutting it off from the video, and then we'll talk about it in general. So the first question is, how old am I? I am 29 years of age. My birthday is the 25th of November, and I'm born in 1994. I'm born and raised in Denmark. My origin is from Morocco, and I've been living here my whole life. So that's the first question. The second question is, how tall am I and what is my body weight? I am 185 in centimeters and my body weight right now is 93.7. My ideal weight would be 85, 86, depending on the muscle mass I'm on and the fat percentage. But I'd say that is my favorite weight to be around. Right now I'm feeling pretty swollen in my head. I feel like I'm looking like a logo we have here in Denmark called Fætter BR, cousin BR, which is a kid's shop, but I'm looking like the guy from there. And yes, that is my ideal weight and height. Third question is, for how long have I been a physical therapist? I was done with my studies 2019 of summer, so I've been a physical therapist for 4.5 years now. I did the FIFA sports medicine therapist course and finished that one in 2019, and that was, I think, March, actually, to be completely, I think it was in March, yeah. So I'm both a physical therapist, a sports medicine therapist, and I do dietitian work also and personal training. So all of those four things, and I've been working for 4.5 years now. I work in a clinic, 42 hours, I'd say, around that, as both a physical therapist and a clinical supervisor. And then I have my own, what would you call it, a corporation, or my own, what would you call it in English? Let's call it corporation. I have my own firm, if you call it that, where I work as a physical therapist, personal trainer, work with sports performance, dietitian work, and I do that for 20 to 25 hours a week. And then I use, say, 3 to 4 hours, maybe more actually, during the week doing social media work for my channels. So tons of work. I usually work 65 hours a week, which is a bit too much. The next question is, how do you deal with personal work and personal relations? And that is quite difficult, because when I'm working 65 hours, I usually only have the evenings and the weekends. And weekends at work, so I'm usually off at 3 or 4, and then I have the evenings to be with either family or friends or for myself. I can say this now, I usually don't have much time by myself. I usually have time by myself when I'm training and when I'm commuting from one place to a second one, and sometimes during evenings, but that's not that often. So usually my week would be like working 65 hours, and then I'd be with one friend or friend group during the week, and then I'd be with my family once or twice a week. I live in my own apartment, and that goes in rotation. So I have, I'd say, 4 or 5 different friend groups, and I have some individual friends also. And usually if I see the friend group in week 1, that'll go 4 or 5 weeks as a minimum before I would see them again, if I'm seeing a friend group every week or seeing a person. So it can be quite difficult to maintain your social level when you're at that point that I am, but I have some really good friends who understand my work-life balance, and I usually check up on them either through iMessage or Snapchat or Instagram. So we are in contact, and I'm lucky to have so good friends. And yes, I'd say I wouldn't recommend people to work that much. The only reason as to why I'm doing this is because I want to sometime be doing just this full-time, doing YouTube, Instagram, TikToks, creating content, helping people online, and having, I'd say, 25 to 30 hours of work with people face to face, and that's it. I'm hoping to just focus on family and friends when I'm getting older. 29 might be old for some people, but yes. The next question is, which animes do you like? I love tons of animes, to be completely honest, because I have, like, if people are asking, I might do that. I will do that, actually, a top 10. But some of my favorite animes right now are Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm reading One Punch Man. I'm reading Dragon Ball Super monthly because it's only monthly. I'm keeping up with Boruto, even though I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of the storyline or the characters. But am I reading more? Hajime no Ippo. Those are the One Piece, of course, the ongoing animes or mangas I'm reading right now. But I have many animes that I like, and some of them would be some of the ones I've pointed out. Death Note, also Attack on Titan, Code Geass, depending on how you want to say it, Hunter x Hunter or Hunter x Hunter for some people who might say it that way. So I have many animes that I love, and I will make a top 10 if enough people want me to do that. The next question is, what is the most difficult thing about being a physical therapist? And I'd say the most difficult thing is not giving people a diagnosis or knowing what the injury is. It's working with the specific person and seeing how their daily life is. Because we have tons of injuries, let's say a jumper's knee, and we know how to fix that in that sense. But depending on how long people have had the injury, depending on their life situation, can they go to a gym and do the exercises? Is it only possible to do it at home? There are many factors that you have to take into your thoughts when you create a program and follow through with the people you are rehabbing. So there are many factors you have to be sure about, and even just on a personal level and mental level, for some people it can be really difficult to go through a rehab program, and for some people they also have kids and they have their work that is stressing them. So you have to factor in the whole human and look at it in a biopsychosocial way, and not just in, you have that injury in your knee, this is the exercises, go and do it, and then you'll be fixed. There are too many factors to just say this is it, like this is the only thing you have to do and then you're done. I'd say that's the most difficult thing, knowing the person you're in front of and getting to know them. I'm the type of physical therapist who wants to know people and get to know them in a personal way. I usually say, when you become my client, you become a person in my life, and I'd say the other way. So I want you to have and feel comfortable around me and see me as your personal physical therapist, in that sense that every time you have an injury or just something you want to go through, you can do it with me. I'm both a physical therapist, physical in the way that I want to help you, but I'm also a therapist in the way that you can come and talk with me, talk about what you're going through, your mental problems, tons of that stuff. The next question is, what would you do if you weren't a physical therapist? If I was not a physical therapist, I'd say I'd be a psychologist. I love the human brain and mental stuff, and I like to get to know people, help them, and get them from one way to another. Actually, I wanted to be a doctor when I was younger, but I ended up not doing that because I wasn't interested in studying for that long, and I had some bad experiences with doctors and had bad experiences with physical therapists who helped me with my injuries, and then I thought I wanted to be that guy that people can go to and who can fix them in the quickest manner and the best manner. So that's why I became a physical therapist. If people want me to give like the whole explanation as to why or how I became a physical therapist, I will gladly do that. The next question is, what are my favorite shoes? I'm not sure this question is about training or just in general, but let me give my favorite. I'd give 5 favorite shoes. I'd say the Ultra Boost from 1.0 to 4.0, Jordan 1s, Chicago's. I'm not that fond of all the colorways, but Chicago ones like my favorite one. Nike Flyknit trainers and races, really, really great shoe. And the last one what would that be? That's actually a really good question. What would my last favorite shoe be? Maybe just plain Air Force Ones. Superstars, also classic. I also really like Jordan 4s, the Fire Reds ones. It's not possible for me right now to give a favorite right now. I also really like the Nike P6000. I just bought a pair and they're really comfortable. So I'd say some of those shoes, but Ultra Boost, Flyknit Racers, Flyknit Trainers are definitely my top three together with the Chicago ones. The next question is, how do you lose weight in the best manner? And for me personally, or just in general, you would like to lose 0.5 to 0.7 grams a week, depending on your body weight and how quickly you want to lose weight. I wouldn't lose weight faster than that because you'll be losing too much muscle mass. I'd go for at least 1.6 grams of protein for each kilo body weight. And what would I do more? I would strength train as I usually do, 5 to 7 times a week. I'd train in the rep range that is 5, 6 to 9 repetitions. I'd go nearly to total failure because the last 5 reps before failure is the ones that are actually doing the hypertrophy work. And I'd lift as heavy as possible. Walk my daily steps. It's a good and easy way to get in some cardio without getting too much fatigue. And I do that for a certain amount of time, and when I can lose weight at a certain calorie intake, I'll reduce it with 200 calories and then keep on doing that until I hit a certain amount. When you hit a certain amount where you're like, okay, if I eat less than this, I will go crazy, I would stop at that. Usually for me it's 2,300, 2,500 calories. If I eat less than that, then I'd be too hungry. So I usually hit that mark, and then if I want to lose even more weight, I would do more cardio, or just in general train more. So that's my way of losing weight. I do that for 3 to 6 months, depending on how much body weight you want to lose. And that's it. The next question is, who are my training idols? I'd say when I started training, I'd say it was definitely Cristiano Ronaldo. I'd say every young guy aspired to have a physique like him. And that was originally my goal. I had a long period where Christian Guzman at a certain body weight, I really liked the way he was looking. I'd say that was also a goal of mine for a long period of time. And the last goal I had was Eddie Gillespie from the UK, who also has a really great physique. I think he's lost a bit of body weight just because he's been running more. But I'd say those three have been certainly goals of mine throughout the years. Right now I'm just training for me to be happy and look in a certain way that I feel comfortable and be strong. I'm gonna change up my training a bit. From January I'll be running more, still strength training, but I'll be doing more like athletic work. Still focused on being strong, but I think I might do more supersets and triceps just to burn off more calories. And that way that I'm having up the intensity, because if you look at it in a hypertrophy way, then I'd say you're actually losing some by doing supersets. But I'm still trying to figure it out. But I'm gonna go for 85 to 86 kilos for July the 1st, and I'm 93.0 right now. And the last, how could I forget it? My number one actually training goal was Goku from Dragon Ball. Definitely every single character from Dragon Ball was the original goal with training. Already when I was 8 or 9 years old, when I read the first manga book, I was hooked, and I thought that the physiques and just training in general was a great way. I was actually playing in playgrounds and doing the training that Kamasenin, Master Roshi is called in English, was doing with Goku and Krillin, where you were digging in sand and running back and forth and training with weights around your arms. I was also doing karate for 6 or 7 years, yeah. Maybe that should be the next question actually. Which sports have I been doing? And I've been doing karate for 6 to 7 years, maybe even 8. I finished just one grade before becoming black belt. Then I was always playing football or soccer, depending on where you're watching this from, but I call it football from I was very young age. But I was playing in a club, like for certain, for 2 or 3 years, I'd say. And then I started doing track and field for 3 years. And I'd say those 3, my favorite one was definitely track and field because it was so exhausting and difficult, and we had a great trainer that was pushing you every single time. That's what ended up giving me jumper's knee in both of my knees, but that's a different story. And I started weightlifting maybe half a year. No, that's a lie. You had back then you needed to be at least 18 years of age to become part of a gym in Denmark. And I was 18 years and 3 or 4 months, it was in February, when I started training. And I was training on and off, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I was watching tons of videos with Matt August, Chris Jones, Christian Guzman, just trying to learn. I was spending 2 hours in the gym because I thought it was a great way to be down there. I was just having fun. So that was my way into training. And I'd say that's it for this Q&A. If you guys have any more questions, then definitely put them in the comment field, and then we'll do a second Q&A. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video here on Ashrehabs.